Welcome to my weekly spiel. Welcome to my weekly spiel. Yada yada blah blah blah. Yada yada blah blah blah. It's time for Margaret's weekly spiel. Greetings and salutations, folks. This is Margaret Franklin of Margaret Franklin Creations. Happy New Year. Well, that depends. So far, up until yesterday, my year was going great. But I'll get to it. My husband is at the hospital right now. An ambulance took him away, about 3/4 of an hour ago. He was supposed to go with him last night, but he refused. But now I'm glad he swallowed his pride and made the right decision, because his leg has taken a turn for the worse, and they told him he's got sepsis. And there's no use in me coming along to the hospital too, because God knows how long they're going to keep you waiting in emergency, and that hospital brings out the worst in me. I'm not being lazy or selfish. I'm just doing what's best because I have sensory issues. Emergency wards always have at least 1 or 2 screaming babies. I have to choose my battles. I'll be there to hold fort and answer the phone in case anyone calls. Anyway, our New Year's Eve was great. Jeanette spent the day with me, and we made these adorable costumes for our stuffies. See, Waddle is a court jester, and his wife, Weedo, makes an adorable fairy princess. We went through my bag of glittery scraps. A lot of them came from the living room, so the living room legacy still lives on, even though they haven't had a studio since shortly after the pandemic began. They do virtual events, and they have a bus that comes to various venues, but I miss the good old studio. It gave me an excuse to get out of the house and mingle with other artists. It's nice to have a place to go other than home to work on my crafts. And, of course, people see me in action making my stuff, and I see them, and it's a great place to buy from one another. And I had so much fun on New Year's Eve day with Jeanette making these hats for our critters that I made jester hats for my Kiss bobbleheads too. Dave doesn't think they look very happy. He thinks they must feel ridiculous. I should probably put these away and put them on the guys next Christmas holiday season. Poor Ace gets ripped off. I didn't have any bells. His has little smiley face beads on the end. I shall put them in this drawer until next holiday season. Anyway, we had a good Christmas. Lots of wonderful presents. Nice dinner at Lori and Vince's. Christmas would have been perfect if I hadn't gotten sick with digestive issues. Don't worry, I didn't barf. It was the other end. Oh. And of course I came home, and upstairs, the kid upstairs was practicing his darn horn until 10 o'clock. Same with the next night. He's been practicing since then, but it hasn't bothered me as much as those 2 nights. And what else is new? I'm working on my quilt for Royal Summit here, and I just finished, I think this was one of Joe's favorite horses. I remember there are pictures of it in Painted Ponies and Tobin Fraley's book, and it was prominently featured in the movie The Magical Ride. I wish I could get that on DVD. I used to have the VHS tape, but my ex stole it from me when I kicked him out. And I noticed things missing several months later. I noticed a library book about curling hidden behind the fridge just before I moved out of that joint. And that's another story. I'm going off on a tangent here. But if I could get a DVD of that video, don't mind me, I'm just choking on my own saliva here. DVD of that video, that would be great. She spoke quite fondly of this magnificent creature, about its beautiful waterfall mane and its expression. And I thought it was a Muller lion. This was actually bigger than most carousel figures. Our friend Holly Starr has its mate, a lioness, in that style. It's not actual carousel animal. He put a camel saddle on it. And now we're getting to, this is the horse that he rode when our carousel convention visited the San Francisco Zoo. Beautiful Ilion's jumper. That was a gorgeous carousel. It reminded me a lot of the one at Center Island, except a lot of the jumping horses were Ilion's. There's his tiger. I have a miniature of it in my Franklin Mint collection way over there. I can show you later. I know when I was working on it, I thought there's something familiar about this tiger, and then I remembered my collection. The Ilion's Flame Horse, that's one of his more famous collectibles. Another Ilion's jumper. I think I remember having this in my Painted Ponies calendar. The Redondo Beach Louvre Hippodrome Crusader. I believe this is an E. Morris Sea Serpent. And the Ilion's Cossack Horse. And Ilion's Arabian Horse. Where was I? I think it was at the convention. They were telling me that the Ilion's factory often made a variety by combining the heads and bodies of various styles of horses. Aloof teddy bear, the head moves. There's one just like it at Seaport Village in California. And this is his pair of Ilion standards, originally in primer, but I got to choose my own colors for that one. Ilion's armored horse. Beol Bunny Rabbit, and last but not least, another Ilion signature stander. So that's my project so far. And when this is done, I have a project. Somebody wants me to make a horse, a quilt with hippocampuses and sea monsters and mermaids. That's going to be great fun. I have lots of resources to fall back on to put this together, and Annie wants me to make a few smaller things because there's a big sale coming up in Toronto on February 10th, 11th, and 12th. Let me check the calendar. I have it written down. Yeah, the 10th is when she'll be picking up my stuff, she and David. The 11th and 12th is the actual sale. Both times that they've done these sales before, they've always sold something of mine. The first time it was the Aboriginal quilt, and then last month it was the Canada quilt. Anyway, I keep starting to talk about New Year's Eve and getting sidetracked. Jeanette and I had fun making those things for our critters. Our friend Jan Walton came over later on. We had lasagna for dinner, and we played Scrabble. Jan and Jeanette left at around 10, and Dave and I quietly rang in the new year together. And I've been going back to my activities at CMHA. I'm taking the, music workshop, music therapy. That was a lot of fun. I've noticed, like, even before this class, I've really been listening hard to music these days. We have the radio on, the oldie station, and how long have I been talking? I shouldn't talk too much longer because I'll have trouble loaderizing this video. Anyway, that's it for now. Oh, music therapy, coping with depression, and then Monday we go to Our Lady support group for the first time. We signed up for a course, or I did, called The Exhausted Woman, and it's packed. I'm on a waiting list. So obviously that one is so popular that maybe next term they should have it at least 2 or 3 times in the week so everyone gets a chance. Well, that's all. Bye-bye. Be back soon. Thanks for watching Weekly Spiel.